Welcome back to the HGC. We are here witnessing as Dignitas is currently up 2-0 over the Zealots. Zealots having a hard time the last couple of matches right now, as they are currently 0-8 in their last 3 matches, and they're hoping to get a victory in the next game.
They have a really rough start into Phase 2. There's no doubt about it. They are facing off against the best teams that we have in the league, and therefore it's a bit of a rough opening, but they are trying their best here, as you could see, trying to get a chance in that second game as well to make a comeback happen. Didn't turn out that way, as Dignitas was shutting them down with their Sylvanas play. But we have another map coming up, map 3.
They had some moments there where they know how to identify how they win team fights. Let's see if they can pull it off here in game number 3. Sky Temple will be the battleground. Dignitas with the choice of battleground, as it seems that Zealots have elected to take first pick.
Yeah, Zealots at this point have definitely... They have a chance where they can maybe make something happen on Sky Temple. It's going to be rough either way, but just keep in mind they are also the underdog heading into the series. Starting next week, they are going up against opponents that are direct competitors when it comes to the standings within the league. They had a good start into the season, actually. Yeah. At the same time, they knew that it would become a lot harder now going up against teams like Fnatic, against Dignitas, and Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, let's just go ahead and give you perspective. For their first week, they played against the Playing Ducks and got a 3-0. Second week, they had to face off against Expert, then Fnatic, and now they have to face off against Dignitas. And if that doesn't make you feel painful for them, you probably don't know how strong those teams are, because they definitely had a hard start for the beginning. So let's go ahead and see if they can get through this one here, as we'll be taking on Dignitas, getting ready for game number 3. 1 win is all they're hoping for here, and this is Sky Temple. We've seen a lot of mix-ups already in the past. We've been seeing a lot of teams in Europe actually adopt that Fnatic strat we saw at MSB, but also we've been seeing a lot of teams understand how to shut it down.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more Chen now on this map. All of a sudden, Chen with a double support Vala is like the go-to for a lot of the teams.
Yeah.
Zealots tried that too, with an Abatha actually. So curious to see, gonna see something. Nah, you can't even try to play that against Dignitas.
No way.
It's the one team that it was used against. They definitely know how to deal with that.
Yeah, they would not allow that to happen again. The first time they almost shut it down, went with a surprise from Fnatic. Now if they know it could be coming their way, they would definitely shut it down. So Dahaka was the possible ban here for Zealots, and now they're thinking about what they would like to get rid of. They did highlight Malthael, but for the moment, they're looking at a Morales ban. Okay, that was a bit on the goofy side. They're just toying.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, for a second, like honestly though, a Morales ban, why it could even be hovered, just for people at home, is there are some cheese strats.
Okay, here comes the snowflake. You go. 1, 2, 3.
There are some possible cheese strats that can occur with the Morales medevac, in which you get a Tyrael and some kind of auto attack DPSer.
Falstad.
Prefer Artanis, Falstad. All jump into the medevac at level 10, and you all in the keep. You grab a Sylvanas if you can too. You burn it down, and you just do it over and over again. If your opponent stop you twice so, and you don't lose any keeps, you lose the game.
While that is true, it would still not make the Morales a first ban.
Probably not. Just saying, it's possible.
But if you're playing a 5-man quick match or something, definitely give it a shot. It's actually really funny. So key is that you have the Morales with the medevac. Key is that you have a Tyrael, so that when you attack the keep, you have sanctification. And with that, you need, of course, heroes that can really burn down a keep really fast. You can go for a Greymane, for example. A Falstad can fly in as well, can help too. But if you have never seen it, definitely give it a shot, as you can have a lot of fun with it. That's not the case here. It's the ban on Genji first, and we have also an Abatha pick. Sorry, an Abatha ban. I would have said that if the Zealots would go for a ban on Dahaka, they have now first picked him. If it would have been a ban on him, then we could have even seen a Vikings ban by Dignitas, since in the past we have seen Zealots with Vikings and attempts on this map to an extent where other teams banned them out. But now the situation has changed a little bit. Genji was eliminated. If you want to play with the Vikings, that's also a good ban, by the way. We have Dignitas with the ban on Abatha, and now Dahaka opening, which means that Zealots still have a very good chance to head into a shared Viking play if they really would want to.
Yep. Get that global help of the Vikings when you can. What does Dignitas pick up for their tank? Nubrak is open and available for them. We have seen them play Stitches on this battleground, but this is one of the battlegrounds I do think Stitches falls off slightly because of how much space there is in the middle, especially around those temples. You can dodge out those hooks if you position accordingly. Dignitas, however, don't really mind that too much. Have gone into Stitches in the past, but decide today that their choice will be a Nubrak and Greymane.
Heresy. Doubting the Stitches god JPL himself. Unbelievable here.
Gods do bleed.
I can't work with this. Once with professionals. JPL, he hits them all.
Amateur casters now, man.
Yeah.
Just hating on the JPL train.
Exactly.
It's not time to hook today, though. They move into a Nubarak.
The Cocoon, just a bit too strong here. So, Cocoon play. And the Zealots, now that they have the Dehaka, what are we going to see from them? Keep in mind, this time the supports are all still around, so we can see a double support approach for them. We can see a start with the Uther making that play, but ooh, Tracer. All right, forget the Vikings, forget everything else that we said. We're seeing a completely different style from the Zealots. Tracer and Tassadar, it is.
Tracer Tassadar, see her pop up occasionally. What you're looking for is being able to get into the fight and really just kind of harass your opponent down, find that pulse bomb, get the kills, and set yourself up for some victories, and really just snowball through a team fight. Get
the Poik train going. This is what it's all about here. Poik and his Tracer, quite infamous. Question is, what do you ban? Do you ban out Varian? Are you concerned about Varian plus Anubarak trying to go in for the kills? I would be. Question is, are the Zealots?
It is a good question. Arthas has also been used as a slight counter, not because you really do too much, but you're able to survive through the pulse bomb. You have your own heals, and you're set up to go from there. So we'll see what they want to ban out. Varian, always a good choice, but Varian's fallen out pretty hard in the meta as of late, so we'll see what happens here. Rhaegar has been banned out for Dig. Now, Zealots, do you get rid of the Varian? Do you want to make sure you're good to go?
I would do it. I would be yeah, I would definitely get it. I actually believe they probably will not, but I would be afraid of it. I would say at this point you are thinking about what is the biggest problem that we could run into, and I would get rid of him. Getting rid of Medivh so that he can screw the ult, that makes also a lot of sense. You have the Force of Will that he can utilize against Tracer's ult. That is definitely also a decent ban. I would be afraid of a Varian pick, but they are not even caring about the Tracer at all. Dignitas says like, yeah, whatever. We are going for Illidan. We have Uther already with this. We're going to dive you guys hard, and you just won't be able to deal with it.
Those picks, man, Uther and Illidan just right away. They just look at the draft for results and go, ha, that's cute.
Yeah.
Have you met Illidan?
That's pretty much it. Have you met my friend here? He's full of hate, and he can't see.
Can that be the new title for Illidan? Illidan, the betrayer. I don't need to. He can't see. He's blind. All right then.
This is the one ironic thing about Illidan, that one of the hard counters against the blind guy that can't see is actual blinds.
You can't think too much into it, man. That's the lore of the Nexus. You can't go down that rabbit hole because your brain will just break. It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be fun.
But how is that possible? Fun is a concept that Germans don't understand.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
We're going to get you to come around. So far we have already. You made like 3 jokes today.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I made 3. If I make more, at some point Germany is not going to accept me back. They're going to be like, no, dude, you can't.
No visa for you.
No visa for you, dude. You're too funny.
He's a stand-up comedian compared to most Germany standards. All right, so Karazim and Arthas has been picked up, so we have a pretty strong front line. Karazim's interesting with the Rhaegar being banned out.
I mean, what else are you going to get here?
Lily for Illidan, the blinds, and the Water Dragon.
That he can't see.
You're still on this, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, your brain's gonna break if you keep going down this hole. You have to just cut it. Cut it off, man. You have to.
But he's blind already.
You're not wrong. I'm not arguing with you. You're stuck on this point. It's not like I'm sitting here disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you how you get out of this moment, right? Well, 5th pick, what are you thinking here?
I mean, right now, who are they waiting for? They probably need someone for Mena, so Li Ming is never a bad option for him.
There it is.
Currently wondering what else could they have gone into. Maybe a Gul'dan even that could have worked, but I like the Li Ming more. Yeah. Mena loves to get his resets, and if you have an Illidan already that really disrupts the opponent, then hey, just go for it and take him down. So.
Work on blowing up that Arthas so you get your resets moving forward. Makes it a little bit harder for Karazim to move in for those heals. So, all right, we're all set up here for a game on number 3. Looking at the compositions, do you think the Zealots, is this their first victory in 9 games?
No.
No. Denied right away here.
I am way too much afraid of what Dignitas has here. First of all, they look strong here today. They look extremely on point with everything that they execute. And they have a composition that is putting so much pressure on the Zealots that I don't think they are going to be able to handle that. I just think the Zealots at this point are going to feel that. And for them, I wouldn't worry too much if I was the Zealots about losses that I take right now against big 3 teams. for them, it's really important to be able to shake those off and just simply focus more on the matches where they are facing direct competitors. And they have actually said that in the interviews already several times, that they know those are the games that really matter to them. Of course, any map win right now is important, and if they can make that happen, hey, all the better. But I think against what Dignitas has fielded here on the map, it's going to be too rough.
Well, we'll see if the Tracer and Tassadar will pay off for the Zealots as we go into game number 3 of this best-of-5 series. Dignitas up with a 2-0, and they have a chance to close it all out.
It is time for Sky Temple as map number 3 starts up. Dignitas in the 2-0 lead against their opponent, the Zealots, with Grand Paquete on Karazim, Mopsy on Arthas, Zarmany on Dehaka, Boik on Tracer, and Shad on Tassadar as we are heading into the potential last game of the series.
Dignitas on the right side in the red, up 2-0. Li Ming will be played by Mane, Snitch on Greymane, JPL on a new Brack, Bakery playing Uther, and Zalia playing Illidan.
All the critics that we saw in the past week against Team Dignitas when the Dignity Trash meme came up once again are currently pretty silent because the Zealots are just not finding an angle to take their strong opponent down.
There were some extra letters in that name.
Yeah.
I can't believe people say that.
It's a meme.
It's a meme. All right. Well, Dignitas is shutting it down here, hoping to get people to be spelling their name correctly here as they are looking for their wins. 2-0 over the Zealots, and the Zealots here are going to be trying to match against Dignitas as much as they can. You see them floating around with them. Tracer in particular is the one that they have to keep an eye out for and lock her away.
Yeah, they have the stuns available. We're going to see quite a lot of those. One of the things that we have to also mention is there is no cleanse, which means that all the stuns that we're seeing coming from Uther, that we're seeing from Anubrak, and also with a hunt on Illidan, are going to pressure Tracer even more. So if those are locked down properly and the cooldowns used so that there is a chain CC, then Tracer is going to have a very rough time surviving in these situations.
She will. Certainly will there. Palm is definitely a possibility at level 10 to help with that, but even then, it's still going to be a bit fierce there to build on a heroic right away when stuns come out. Dignitas for the moment are playing pretty safe here, except for Snitch in the bottom right, since he's getting locked out by Mopsio and Shad. Should be able to get out, and just barely does. Will go ahead and heal and head back into the fight. All about the temples now as they activate in the middle. And this is one of those spots where this Tracer Tassadar composition is going to do well, because you can't fall behind with this composition. It feels odd when you're playing Tracer and you can't get fights to go in your favor.
Yeah, so for me, the biggest threat for them is really after level 10, when we're having so many lockdowns available. I wouldn't really be too shocked to see Dignitas head into the stun on 10 on Uther, going into the Divine Storm. Both talents are absolutely working here for them. Going into Divine Shield allows them to go deeper with a lot of their heroes. But the options they have are what really scares me at this point. We're seeing Illidan down to the bot lane, so he's pressuring this a bit more. He wants the early level 4 for his team, and therefore the temple control in the mid lane has gone over to the Zealots.
It's all about getting forward too, so the Illidan be in the bottom. Dehaka will be able to match him. So Zealots should be able to be a fine spot against him, while Greymane just all by himself constantly here in the top lane, working on the temple, and Dig will just go ahead and dance back and forth here. Zealots have the option to move in with Dehaka, so Dignitas is respecting their positioning as they move forward.
Yeah, right now we're having still that 3 versus 4. They are not able to soak any of the shots, and Dehaka can of course move to the top lane if he needs to. Snitch realizes that there's a rotation coming his way. Dignitas has of course called out the remaining rotation immediately, and therefore he just moves back. They're willing to give up a few things in this early game.
That they are, waiting for their stuns to come online. 4 people heading to the top, Illidan even coming in for this movement, so Dignitas is actually hoping to fight in this scenario. With Greymane holding the top, Mopsio in particular, that'll be one of the members that they can burn in the front line if he oversteps slightly here. Illidan starts the rotation back to the middle. Okay, so they need to figure out what they want to do with Zalia here, because he's just floating around doing nothing. He decides to go for the Mercs.
Yeah, he goes for the Mercs, and we saw Dehaka at the bot lane also double-checking if he might go for the Siege Camp instead, which he doesn't do. So Zarmany walked over to the Siege Camp of Dignitas, double-checked real quickly if anything was going on there that he needed to interrupt, but he still continues to get the experience for his team. And in experience, the Zealots have taken a slight lead, so they are pretty happy with the early game here, feeling probably confident with this. but the early camp on the Knights at the top should now enable Dignitas to put a bit of pressure onto the towers and maybe drop on it.
Yeah, they'll have to pull someone up there. So far they put Arthas, and they may bring the Haka up as well, just to clear that out ASAP, which allows for them to have a 4v3 against this Tracer comp in the bottom. It's pushing in with the Giants. So Dig hoping that maybe they can get someone to overstep while they clear out the Giants and get a kill. But so far, handling the early game pretty well here, as they also soak the middle lane and look towards 10.
Yeah, the early game, as I said, is not really what I'm worried about for them. It's later on after 10 what's going to happen there. The Haka should soon also, or has already taken the top lane, so that once the second temple phase activates, he has the opportunity to burrow down and turn it into a 5 versus 4 in favor of the Zealots. But right now, we still see Dignitas pressing a bit. Poig is also ready. Tracer is ready for the pew 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 here, as we're seeing them at that bot lane, and it's really up to Poig to make the big plays then later on.
Yeah, we haven't seen a pulse bomb yet, so you see Dignitas spreading out instantly the moment that Poig steps forward and go in for an engage on Tassadar. Grandpa comes up as well to help out with JPL, but Shad instantly bringing out the dimensional shift and will get out from the fight.
Level 7 versus 8 and up to the top. Zelia still holding the lane. But we're going to see that temple activate pretty soon. The announcement should happen any moment now. And then it's all about what is Dignitas going to do to react here. For now, they're actually happy to just simply burst through the wall, and they are taking a tower down for free quite easily. That gives them a bit of experience. Here's the temple announcement. JPL should be able to move away. The Haka moves in, and that puts a nice stop on it. That is the end of JPL. And Nubarak is down. But Zealots also gave up experience at the top lane, as Illidan is still continuing to push.
The drag coming out right away from the Zealots was helpful there. It held the Nubarak down, allowed the pulse bomb to come out, and since he wasn't able to go in for the fight at level 7, he didn't actually pick up the shield here that you normally see on the Nubarak. Instead, we've had him go into Leeching Scarab. So he's hoping to drop some beetles and get some heals in the middle of team fights.
Yeah, I really expected him to go into the Burrow Charge shield here as well, but that's not the case, as you just said. So a bit more sustained for him. I could even see that being a misclick, to be honest with you.
It might be, especially, I don't know, because it happened right before the turn. Oh, well, if that's JPL, if they actually do go into a spot where they win the series and we get to interview them. But Zealots with a level 10 here, pretty far ahead, and Zarmany seems to have soloed the Illidan.
I mean, it has happened before that we've seen a few misclick on Talon, so that could be the case here. If you normally go simply into the Subterranean Shield, you just get a massive amount, and if you are the solo frontliner more or less, that's definitely a big help. Illidan falling at the top lane is another problem for Dignitas. They're losing a bit too much here, so the Zealots getting the bottom temple wasn't really the big deal. It's all about the level 10s. The problem for Dignitas is that thanks to the kill against the Nubarak and to Illidan, we have now, and the temple taken, we have now the Zealots being a level ahead with the heroic ability.
And a fort ahead. They got the fort in the bottom right.
Yes, so Dignitas has really a bit of work in ahead of them if they want to make sure that they are not losing the game here.
Dignitas finally does hit 10. It will be Cocoon, Curse Bullet, Wave of Force, The Hunt. Uther yet to pick his heroic, assuming it might be Divine Storm to go ahead and just go full lockdown on any target they do find.
Also, we have still the option to go into the Tesla Force Wall here for lockdown. We've seen Shed several times actually already on the hero with great placement on the Force Wall to make sure that he is isolating targets completely. Could use that after Nubarak burrows in. By now, we are still seeing Illidan doing his thing up at the top. But now that he has the Hunt, this is really when they have a lot more pressure against the Zealots. This is really when their composition comes online.
Yep, and they're able to keep up with the Dahaka too. If Dahaka goes for a Brush Stalker, you can hunt right away and try and stop him from doing so, and then turn him off. Lots of things available for Dignitas. In fact, they're feeling it too. They're looking for maybe an invade here, as they're going to drop an Impale and see their opponents there with 3 in the setup, and Tassadar dropping the Oracle. They decide to go ahead and push into the middle, and they'll clear that later.
I'm a bit surprised that they didn't go for it. Arthas was at the bot lane. They had perfect vision on him. They could have forced a 5 versus 4 fight over here. And with Cocoon being used, or using Cocoon on Nubarak, would have turned it into a 5 versus 3 for a few seconds. So that was a bit surprising. They did not really like the position there, but I think that was actually a pretty good battle to take.
Could have hunted in, Grandman jump over the wall, Uther get healed from the side. Maybe not having the shield at the level 7 was enough to deter them from doing so.
Yeah, so for now, they just let this go. We have a big push at the top lane thanks to the camp, and at the bot lane, Dignitas is reacting by a push and the temple that has just now been taken. So it's more or less a trade that we are seeing, with the level 13 Talon being reached by Zealots as they are collapsing onto the bot lane.
Okay, Snitch might be in trouble. Zarmi comes in, the Hawk going forward. Divine Shield will be used by Bakery, but Man at the same time isn't on the right side. He tries to blink out for the moment, but JPL gets fucked on the side. Mayday is still in trouble, and he is being chased down, and Dignitas is looking like they're going to lose 3 members.
Yeah, they definitely are. Mene is down, and the Zealots are taking full control of this game at this point. Dignitas making a couple of very uncharacteristic mistakes. They did not see this rotation coming at all. They didn't expect it. They would have never stayed there. They thought there was a rotation on the way since Zealots was about to hit 13. And that triple kill just allowed the Zealots to take a boss for free.
Yep, they're going to take this boss, and they can move in on a keep on the right side. If they move up as 5, they can continue to keep this pressure. Illidan in the top lane has grabbed the temple, at least for now, so 13 is a big issue that needs to be grabbed by Dignitas, and they can do so with the minion waves that will be pushing in the middle and the bottom, but Zealots fully in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by Dignitas what they're doing here. I'm actually really curious if they can turn this around. The Zealots have a solid lead. Now it's 13 talents versus 13 talents though, but we have Zealots with 5 kills to 0. And for Dignitas, we haven't seen a real team fight yet. They haven't used the hunt once, they haven't really forced anything. This is an opportunity for them to maybe make that work. But of course the Zealots are first of all very interested to make sure that they're at least breaching the wall. And they're playing this very cautious as well. They know that if they're trying to run away from this and Nubarak forces the fight with the cocoon, Illidan jumps in, they are in trouble. So instead they're falling back and hoping for level 16 to hit before they have to take a fight.
Yeah, the cautious play was the best play there. You're right, with the cocoon and the hunt being available for Dignitas and the Merc camp pushing in the top corner. If they lose that fight right away, all progress they have made would have been deleted. So Dignitas defends the boss. Lose out on a turret on the bottom right and got their gate pretty low as well. The Zealots now chasing around. Need to be a bit careful. They still need a quarter of experience here before they hit 16.
I'm a bit surprised by this game so far. And I really want to see what Zealots can do. They have nullification now for Tacita. That's already a big deal. It really helps them once that Greymane or Illidan are engaging here. But this could be a really, really rough match now for Dignitas. It should be. Zealots are 2 level ahead. They have the level 16 talent. If the Zealots don't play too passive now and just make sure that they are making something work, it would be great. Even baiting them here with a nice trap, showing Karazim, and just simply saying, hey, attack me. I'm here. I'm vulnerable. Please. Dignitas not quite falling for it yet, but here comes the hunt.
Oh, they find Arthas, and they just completely delete him. It's going to be a 5v4 here. Talent advantage is not up, but with them having the number advantage, they hope to grab more. Zealots will back up, but we don't have an Arthas in the field anymore.
Yeah, there we go. This is what we've been waiting for the entire time. This is why we've been talking about the level 10 talent for so long, because they can now use the stuns, the hunt, and the cursed bullet. So that's just what happened here. Arthas didn't have a moment to react to it, and with Tacita dropping the shield out, there was absolutely no chance. It's one of the reasons why I could have seen Tacita even going into the armor shield, being afraid of that. But still, Dignitas holding, or Zealots holding an advantage here. And they are starting to push that in, not even waiting for Arthas to come back.
This game is so weird. We've literally had 3 seconds of aggression from Dignitas, and that's been about it. But they are getting themselves back in the game here with a temple in the middle. They are starting to hit the keep on the bottom left side, so Dignitas about to hit 16 and be on even footing with the Zealots, especially with them clearing out that top lane. So we do have a game on our hands. Next couple of temples and even the boss may be game ending for our team. So Zealots, they're looking for fights. They're sharking around trying to find their opponents.
Now, a big talent to be taken up now is also Karazim's Way of 100 Fists. So we're not talking about any kind of cleanse on the side of Karazim. There's no cleansing touch or anything like that. He just goes straight for the Way of 100 Fists, more damage, trying to put that onto a single target. And if you want to go for a blow-up with the help of Poik on the Tracer, that's exactly what you need. So we have Dignitas clawing their way back into it with that kill against Arthas. They still find themselves behind though. Let's see how the Zealots play, because from a structural point of view, Dignitas is taking a punishment, but they're not really too far behind. They are still in a situation where they have eliminated every single fort on the map and are starting to threaten keeps themselves in.
Yep, they got the turret on the left side too, so it's still in a good spot. Consistently moving around here. They did take some damage on their keep on the right from giving up those temple shots. A bit surprised they went ahead and gave that up. I assume they could have came in for a rotation and tried to force a fight, but they actually seem like they don't want to fight against the Zealots here. They'd rather just win through pure macro.
Yeah, which is interesting, considering that they are the ones going up against the Dehaka. Illidan, of course, has the pseudo-global, but you're absolutely right. They are a bit reluctant to go into these fights. They really don't want to take them. They have only taken the opportunity to blow an Arthas up earlier, but in any kind of big battle, they are not really willing to engage into it. And the Zealots, okay, so they see JPL here. Quick route comes out. JPL can always move away from this one.
Does move away. Mine also put some damage on Tassadar. They're checking every bush as they go for the rotation.
And I have to say again, the Beetles on 7 for Nubrak have not gotten any value whatsoever.
I mean, the only time you actually get value with that talent is when you're playing poke comps with the Nubrak, and you just kind of sit back and allow the Beetles to keep moving in. But this isn't a poke comp that you're facing against Zealots.
Yeah.
This is a blow-up comp.
Or if you are in a situation where you're solo taking cams, laning, I don't know. I'm still saying there's a high chance that this is actually a misclick.
Well, Pulse Bomb goes out there for the Zealots, and it hits a Beetle, so JPL will get value on that Beetle as it takes the shot for them. And it's time, I think, for Dignitas to make a play on one of these temples. This is a moment for the Zealots. If they're actually able to move in when they get another Pulse Bomb and get a pick-off, they can make a play for a boss, get their spot into a situation where they can push in that bottom team.
Talking making a play for boss, that's exactly where they are. Dignitas is sniffing it out, though. They are already moving down. The Haka is on his way, shows bot lane, but here comes JPL. Boss is on half health. This is going to be an interesting one now. Are they committing to it? JPL has taken a lot of damage. Boss is leeched and nearly regains all of its hit points, so at this point Zealot can simply let it go. And they're trying to go in. JPL, here's the blow-up attempt against Mopsio. He's still alive, moves out, army pop, heals himself up. Dignitas used the cooldowns and got nothing out of it.
Zealots are going to be able to continue to chase here. Grandpa in particular going straight from Manny, bringing the way of the 100 fits and doing a pretty solid job of getting them intimidated with Glow. Point comes in with the Pulse Bomb, will hit a Nubrak, but a Nubrak gets out of the fight.
Mopsio missing the Howling Blast was a huge issue. If he connects the Howling Blast, then Dignitas is in massive trouble. They were all stacked. That would have been a 3-man Howling Blast if that connects, and then they would have lost quite a few heroes here. But as is, the fight starts up again, and a lot of the cooldowns have been used on both sides. Dignitas fighting over it, the Cam pushing the top lane. Here comes the approach. They go for Arthas, for the Haka, and they take him down.
The hunt is up, and yes, it's used. Zelia goes in for Mopsio. They turn around, they look at Grandpa. Grandpa drops the 7-sided strike, puts out damage, but everyone from Dignitas comes in and takes the damage. Zelia will get hit with the Pulse Bomb, and Sapoik will get a kill, but in exchange, we also have the Haka falling.
The Haka and Arthas are both down, so both of the frontliners are all of a sudden gone, and the top is still getting value. Through the Cam, taken a bit earlier. Zealots are heading into the 20, but Dignitas is all of a sudden the team that is riding the momentum here.
The Haka and Arthas no longer up. It looks like Zealots won't have a chance to move in. Cocoon comes out, and Dignitas is getting ready to do another combo here. Bakery is coming forward for the stun. He lands it, and Tracer is no longer on the field. Shad will use Dimensional Shift and try to go for a juke, but Mane scouts him out, brings up the damage. Can Tassadar get away?
Yeah, seems like he can, but Tracer erased means the top keep is very likely to fall. Snitch is moving in, and JPL is already on the spot. Goes straight for it. Up to the top, we are having Uta taking the temple, and this is an easy keep here for them. Dignitas just turned everything around, has taken the 20, and are trying to stagger deaths now.
The hunt comes across, 7-sided strike will be used to dodge out on it, but Zelia is here, and he is chasing. They are looking for a couple more pickoffs. Won't quite get them, so they can pull back and work on the temple.
Yeah, it's 20 versus 20 any moment now. The Zealots don't have their Storm talent yet, but it's only going to take them a few more minions to complete that. But they have really taken a beating in that last fight around the temple. It's just that blow-up comp that we are seeing here on the side of Dignitas. They are doing so much work with these combos, and in the first attempt, Arthur staying alive was huge on the side of the Zealots. The problem really is that they didn't get a kill. After Dignitas used all of their cooldowns, they didn't get anything out of it. They were trying to retreat, and in that moment, the Zealots get a kill while they're chasing, and the game looks completely different. But as is, Dignitas is very happy to head into this late game now. 2 of the keeps are down on the side of the Zealots, and we're going to see a deciding fight over the boss.
Feels like Zealots need to start that boss, yeah.
And they need to force
they're Illidan, right? Like, they're in a spot where they have to make a play. And they go for one. Howling Blast comes out. Arming the Dead will be used. Bakery's taking the damage here on the right side. Brings out the stun. Cocoon will be used, and everyone from Dignitas is starting to kite back.
There we have it. Howling Blast is in, and the kill, they get it. No Divine Shield yet. They get the kill against Uther. He has the redemption, and Illidan is at the top lane. He will go for the core. Illidan can easily take a core alone, and this is a massive problem. Dignitas just plays around the Zealots now. Hunts in again, and just retreats.
Gets out of there. We're going to have the Haka actually brush stock back. Or actually, he backs, so he has brush stock available. He can't come in for the fight if Dignitas were to start for the boss, so good play there by Zealots. keeping their spot available to where they can come in for a fight if Dignitas were to make something happen.
The Zealots will at some point force the fight on the boss. They will start the boss, force the fight out of Dignitas, because in the long run, they are going to lose this.
Yeah, 100%. Illidan's working on the hunt in the top right, getting that pop there, as well as getting mercenary pressure to push in. With the catapults that we're pushing in the top and the middle, Zealots are on a ticking time bomb right now. They are in a scenario where they have to make something happen.
Especially since Illidan can always hunt to a wave up at the top. So the camp is now taken. Same happens on the other side, but this is really, really problematic for the team in blue. Dignitas is now up at the top lane, so you can't even start the boss, so Dignitas could simply go for the core. You have to wait a little bit longer. Hazard is still checking it out. Temples are now online, so they make their way back down again and start forcing it. Dignitas moved away from the top lane, so right now they go for the boss. This is something that Dignitas knows. This is the fight that the Zealots have to force.
They are aware here. JPL's on the side, skirting around. Drag does miss from Zarmany.
Don't have Archon.
Point goes in, drops a pulse bomb. Tracer takes some damage, gets low. First bullet connects with Zarmany.
Yeah, there's the kill against Tracer, and now we're having Cocoon used on the ground. They're trying to get a counter kill. Zarmany gets health back. Mopsio is there, gets stunned by the boss immediately. Seven-sided use. Grandpa down. He's dead. That's the double. The boss is down and will be stolen as Arthas dies. And this is going to conclude game 3 there. Haka also dropped. Zealots, they had to force the fight, but they are losing it big time.
They are certainly going to do so. Mane turns around, brings up the damage on Shad, gets the kill with the help of JPL. 5 is down, and Zealots, they hold on for a long time, but Dignitas finally brings the nail and puts it in their coffin as Zelia walks across the map and heads straight to the core.
They didn't have Archon ready for that last fight. It was a big problem here. Dignitas, with the 2 elite moves in, drops the core, makes it a 3-0, and takes the series without dropping a single map against their opponent.
Dignitas coming out and having the showing that they needed to have today to really confirm a lot of Dignitas' fans' hopes and worries, I guess, to how is Dignitas faring in the HGC. And today they come out with a nice 3-0. They go back to their roots and they deliver the final blow.
Yeah, it was well played on their part. There were a few opportunities for Zealots to really do a bit better. Again, once that the blow-up comp didn't hit, trying to stop the opponent on the retreat and chase them down, that would have been a good recipe for success. The boss being forced in there at the end was also a bit of an issue, because without the Tazza cooldown, I just don't think you can make it happen. And when Cocoon was destroyed, Arthas came out, he immediately got stunned out by the boss. Tracer already dying early on. Yeah, big problem for them.
Yeah.
Question, of course, still, do you think that maybe going into the palm over the 7-sided would have been the better choice here, considering that it is at least something you can try and do to save the target of the blow-up?
Yeah, I mean, once the Cocoon actually gets buried out and you have the palm set up, if you stop the blow-up from happening, you have that 5v4. And we saw there was multiple moments where Cocoon came out and Dignitas didn't win the team fight, they would go away from the actual engage. So if you could prevent that moment from happening and resets a particular from occurring for Mane, sure, palm can be good.
I mean, we can head in and just take another quick look at the last fight, just to get a bit of an idea. It was, of course, a disadvantageous fight on the side of the Zealots. They had to take it. So let's take a closer look at the boss fight that happened here on Sky Temple and how exactly they fared here. So at this point, you can just watch this in half speed, as you can see right now. So the boss is about to fall. Illidan will hunt in pretty soon. He's at the top lane, putting the pressure already on the core. They have to take the fight, but you can see it's 20 seconds until Archon will be ready, and Tracer is dead before the boss falls, before Illidan is there. Tracer is already down, and at this point, it's just a nightmare. Mopsio gets stunned by the boss as Cocoon is being dropped. Grand Paquette is falling after the 7-sided, and it's just a cleanup job that we're seeing from Team Dignitas. Boss gets stolen as well. Mopsio was the only one still on the core, so it was extremely well coordinated from Dignitas, and just no chance. The Zealots had to force a fight. I mean, waiting those 20 seconds for Archon to be in would have been great.
Yeah.
But with the 2 temples spawning,
lots of mistakes. I mean, first off, Tracer getting picked off. The 2 tongues not hitting from Zarmany as well, not able to pull them into the stun. Things just happened, man. But Dignitas walks away with a victory, and we have a nice, cheery guy here to talk to us about that match. It's Snitch. Snitch, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, thank you for joining us. I got to ask you, Dignitas having a bit of a rough road last week, unfortunately, but today you guys came out and you look pretty angry. You guys get a nice 3-0 today.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with our performance today. It feels a bit mean to say it's only Zealots, but it feels good to actually
it's a little
just
mean,
have,
Snitch.
It feels good to actually just have a clean performance, you know? It feels nice to be able to come out and actually just have a clean sweep.
Awesome. So I just kind of asked you last Sunday after you guys went through your experimental phase, what was the mentality going through the team, and where did you guys come to a conclusion after that entire weekend?
We were just kind of trying some different things. Like we're trying to basically become a stronger team overall. So that's why we've done things with like Bakery trying the shot calling for a little bit, and Mene being a little bit more flexible, so we can play things like double support. Like we felt like we were just kind of isolating on this whole double support thing a little bit too hard.
Sure.
Like we do think it's really strong in the meta, obviously. Like Liquid play it really well. Like even Expert using it really good sometimes. So we do feel like it's really important to be able to play it, but I think we were a little too, strung up on it and focusing on it a little too much. So we're trying to be, encompassing of the new meta, but also, being able to play what we used to and having our old style as well.
Awesome. And one more question before I send you over to Caldor. Will we have any more moments where we'll see those experiments happening here in the HGC? Because I think I agree with you guys. It'd be nice to see you become a stronger team, and going through some rough patches is one of the ways to actually become stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're afraid to be practicing these things like in these matches. Like, I think some of the games where we had double support and lost, like it wasn't because we were uncomfortable. We need a little bit more time to practice on it. Many needs more time to be more comfortable in these supports. I just said we weren't comfortable, but I know what I mean. But so we're just like trying to become a stronger team overall because we felt like we couldn't play some of these strategies with the hero pools we had before, basically.
Awesome. Well, 6 City, over to Caldor.
All right, congratulations, first of all. Clean victory today. The one thing that we've been talking about all day, all weekend, is the situation that we currently have up at the top of the standings. And I would like to have your opinion on especially Tricked, when we're looking at them, Team Liquid with that loss that they just had, and also Expert. What do you think is happening up there at the top, and who do you think is going to crystallize later on within the top 3?
Yeah, I think the season's got very interesting. I think Liquid had a bit of a honeymoon phase, actually. I think they had... let's just say a lucky early series of teams to play, because I think if we came up against Liquid again, I think we'd look a lot stronger and a lot more competent against them. I think they're even kind of slumping right now, especially with their recent loss against Trick. Like that was a super devastating performance for them. I think it will really hamper their ability to qualify for the Western Clash, assuming that we perform as well as we believe that we can. I do think Trick look really interesting as a team. They have a lot of interesting approaches to the game, and like Alex has a really open mindset in terms of things they could play. You saw them playing the Zool and things like that. Like they're really creative with their strategies. So I think they're very definitely interesting, but I don't think that we'll lose to them. So that's kind of my take.
Okay, do you think that that Tricked has a chance to push into the big 3? Not necessarily going past you, but I mean right now, as you said, Team Liquid looks a little bit vulnerable. So does Tricked have that potential? Because last season they were really struggling quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because, like you say, last season they looked a lot weaker than they are now. I think when they have Make playing range, they look a lot more comfortable as a roster. I actually thought Make was a really good range player a few months ago, just watching him in Hero League. So I think now that they're kind of playing their comfortable roles again, they just look a lot more, solid. I think Rem is still adapting to the tank role really well, and Alex is playing Zool now apparently, so that's pretty interesting.
All day, every day.
So I mean, yeah, I definitely think they're looking a lot stronger. I don't know if they can quite contest the top 3, but I've also heard rumors that Alex wants to continue his series of qualifying for every BlizzCon, So maybe they're trying extra hard to make sure that they can qualify for this year's as well.
Okay, one last question about the standings and everything. We talk always about the big 3. You just said that you expect Team Liquid to be in a bit of a slump, and that you feel that after the honeymoon phase that they went through right now at the beginning of the season, they're going to struggle more. Do you think that we still have the big 3? Do you feel that Expert has finally made that push into the top 3 ranks, or what would you say about that?
It's really, I think there's definitely a really big case for it. I think Ethereum is a really good fit for them, and I know they're putting loads of work in. Like they're scrimming something like 9 hours a day or something insane, which I don't think any other team in Europe is pushing themselves that hard. So you can definitely see it paying off. Like I think they're really focused on actually making that push this season. Like they really want the top 3 this time, and I think Ethereum is definitely part of that. So I'm glad they're putting all this work in, because I think it's really inspiring and motivating for me as well. But to answer the question, yeah, I definitely think they can do it. I think we'll have to wait for the rest of the phase to see where it happens. I mean, like, Liquid is looking a little bit weaker than they were at the beginning, so that could be part of it as well. But they definitely do look top 3 material right now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, we will enjoy watching you guys try to make sure that you get set up for the Western Clash over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go ahead and let you go for today. But before you do leave, you have shout-outs. The floor is yours.
course, shout out to Team Dignitas and our sponsors. Shout out to my team. You can catch my stream at twitch.tv/snitchhots. I'm mostly streaming every night. If you want to see us as the Western Clash, you have to watch us smash Fnatic next week. So look forward to that.
Smashing Fnatic. Looking forward to that. All right, Snitch, thank you so much. Congratulations to Dignitas for getting a victory today. A nice 3-0 over their opponents, the Zealots. So, Dig, hopefully back here.
Yeah.
Snitch seems hyper-aggressive. He was ready to talk about a lot of the matchups, and I hope they continue to do well.
Yeah, confident as well, and I also loved his take about the standings. It's good to know that we're not the only ones who are surprised by a few of the results that we had so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was actually pretty exciting stuff.
Well,
Like it.
standings, speaking about them, we have them updated for you. So, the very top still hasn't changed. Fnatic with the 4-0. They owning it up as of late. Expert right below there. And Dignitas will take a nice step up to the 5th there, tied with Team Liquid. So, standings are all set up, and the Zealots, poor guys, all the way to the very bottom there with the Plain Ducks.
Yeah, we have a top 5 right now, and down to the bottom of the standings, as you said, we have 3 teams sharing those spaces, so it's all about the Crucible right now for them. But it's a very intense season so far. Fnatic, the only team that is really rushing away from everybody. Expert high on their heels though, but it's insane. I love it. It's really good.
If Dignitas comes out and actually beats Fnatic next week, these standings get insane.
Yeah, if that happens, that would be brutal. Anybody, I mean, right now we have 5 teams that have an easy shot at the Western Clash.
And only 3 can go, Caldor.
Yeah.
What if we just?
I know.
What if we pull some strings to take 5?
I would like that, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen.
Yeah, probably won't work out to us. We'll get back to you guys tomorrow with that information. We'll see if maybe we can get 5 teams to go. That'd be kind of cool. So today's been pretty good overall. Anything major stand out for you?
Not really for today. The only thing that stands out for me was that we had the Heroes Esports Twitter with a very interesting video today featuring the 2 of us. A little bit of a lesson that you shouldn't face check bushes. I'm not quite sure if you can catch it on the Twitter directly, but in case that you guys are more familiar with Reddit, the Heroes of the Storm Reddit has it, as far as I know, already all the way up at the top on the front page. So if you haven't seen the video yet and you want to have one of the official PSAs on how to play the game, I want to see if that's maybe something you want to see more of in the future, then check it out either on the Twitter at Heroes Esports or on Reddit at Heroes of the Storm, and make sure that if you enjoy it and you would like to see more, that you like it, that you retweet it. And yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, let us know. We enjoy feedback.
And I still want to say from the get-go that the Haka, he lost that bush fight. Just saying. It was him screaming for mercy, not me. It wasn't exactly. Footage was lost. I already told production team that it's a no-go and that it shouldn't happen again in the future. They told me they would step up their game there, but it was the Haka screaming for mercy, not me.
Caldor is so tough. Oh, all right, guys.
I had a Doom Hammer. I can't lose.
Schedule. We have some more games coming your way. Caldor, they get it. They know you're strong, man. Tomorrow, we have the Plain Ducks taking on Team Liquid. Fnatic and Team Expert to end our 3-day week here in week 3. Ooh, I am excited for that one. Expert looking to creep up there. Yeah. We talk about Dignitas maybe beating Fnatic next week, but we still have to worry about tomorrow. Expert taking on Fnatic. What if Expert beats Fnatic?
It's a perfect match to end HGC Europe for this week. It's great.
Yeah.
Fnatic and the direct competitor, Expert, if they make this win happen, if Expert takes it, that's basically them saying we are at the Western Clash. I so want to see that fight tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Fnatic was looking strong the entire season, but right now they have to prove that they can take down that direct competition as well.
You guys better be here tomorrow for that matchup. It's going to be a good one. North America also having some great matches. But if you're not here tomorrow for Fnatic taking on Team Expert, I'm going to send Caldors to your house to face check your house, and that's a scary threat. So you better be here tomorrow.
I don't want to travel right now. We're traveling soon enough again.
That's the one thing holding you back from going to someone's house. Not that that's a weird movement in itself. It's that
You're
you still want to fly.
You're going to send me to some house in Uzbekistan or somewhere else. Like, I don't know.
I'll be ready for you.
It's going to take ages. I'm going to be on the way all week.
No, well, it's definitely a big possibility here, man. So, North America will be coming up soon, and I'm actually very excited for North America. They've been having a lot of interesting matches as of late. Yesterday, Gale Force versus No tomorrow going to Game 5.
That 5th game was crazy.
250 gems?
If you guys haven't seen the series, I'm not going to spoil who won it now. But you should check out that series. Gale Force against No Tomorrow yesterday was absolutely crazy. Not only from the positions that the two teams had before, but the dynamic of the series was super interesting. So if you're interested in the North American HGC, that is definitely the match you should check out on YouTube and watch those VODs. But today, we're just going to continue with that. So North America looking super interesting right now. A lot of good teams approaching them, emerging.
Well, Europe is done for today. North America is up next, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We meet again.
Since time immemorial, Azeroth has been guided by the Dragonflights, each granted a sacred task to preserve a fundamental aspect of the world. Chronormu, or Chromie to her friends, may appear to be a friendly yet distracted gnome, but in truth, she is a bronze dragon and an ardent defender of time. Now her charge to preserve history has brought her into the conflux of time and space, known only as the Nexus. Chromie is a fragile yet devastating artillery assassin that traps her foes and eliminates them from afar. First up is her trait, Time Walker. As a master of the time ways, Chromie gains talents and abilities one level ahead of other heroes. Her first basic ability is Sand Blast. With a wave of her hands, Chromie manifests a ball of sand and fires it as a long-range projectile that damages the first enemy hero it hits. Sand Blast only hits enemy heroes and will pass through anything else. Don't let Chromie's appearance fool you. Her W ability, Dragon's Breath, unleashes her true bronze dragon nature, letting loose a deadly barrage on a target area. Dragon's Breath does not provide enemies an area of effect indicator for the incoming damage, leaving them completely unaware of how it will impact.